The night my son knocked on my door again, I was sitting alone in the dark. I had not turned on the lights yet. I was listening to the rain hit the roof, slow and steady, like it had something to say. When the knock came, my first thought was not hope. It was fear. Because sometimes, when you have been forgotten for a long time, even love sounds like trouble when it returns. I stood up slowly. My knees were not as strong as they used to be. I remember holding my breath as I walked toward the door, my hand shaking on the wall. When I opened it, I saw him. Older. Thinner. Still my son. He looked at me the same way he used to when he was a boy who had broken something and did not know what to say. His eyes were full. Not angry. Not proud. Just tired. "Mom," he said softly. That one word opened a place in my chest I thought had closed forever. I did not cry. I did not smile either. I simply stepped aside and said, "Come in. It's cold." As he walked past me into the house that had once been his, I wondered how many years it had taken for him to remember where home was. My days became quiet. Not peaceful. Just quiet. I woke up early. I made tea. I sat at the same table where he once did his homework. I talked to myself sometimes. Not because I was lonely, but because my voice felt strange when it was not used. I kept his room clean. Not perfectly. Just enough. I told myself it was in case he visited. But years passed. And the dust still settled the same way. On birthdays, I baked a small cake. I ate one slice. Then I wrapped the rest and gave it to neighbors. On holidays, I cooked too much food out of habit. Then I packed it away slowly, one container at a time. Sometimes I wondered if I had done something wrong. If I had said something that stayed with him. If I had been too much, or not enough. I never asked him. Because I did not want the answer to break what little connection we still had. I am not a woman of big words. I never learned how to explain feelings in a pretty way. I only know how to feel them, and how to carry them quietly. I raised my son in this house. The same one he stood in that night, looking around like a visitor. The walls still held his childhood, even if he no longer did. This house is small. 2 bedrooms. 1 bathroom. A kitchen that smells like old wood and warm memories. Nothing fancy. But it was full once. When my husband passed away, it was just the 2 of us. My son and me. He was 16 then. Too young to lose a father. Too old to pretend it did not hurt. I worked long hours after that. I cleaned houses. I cooked meals for people who did not know my name. I came home tired every night, but I always found the strength to ask him about his day. Some nights, he would sit at the kitchen table and talk. Other nights, he would stay quiet. Either way, I was there. I did not raise him perfectly. I made mistakes. I was strict sometimes when I was scared. I was silent sometimes when I did not know what to say. But I loved him. Every day. In every way I knew how. When he grew older, he started talking about leaving. Not leaving me. Just leaving the house. Leaving town. Finding a life. I encouraged him. Even when my heart felt heavy. Because a mother's job is not to keep her child close forever. It is to make sure they can stand when they walk away. Then he met her. Her name was Clara. She was polite at first. Quiet. Always smiling, but never too much. She spoke softly, like she did not want to take up space. I welcomed her into my home. I cooked her favorite foods once I learned what they were. I gave them privacy. I tried not to ask too many questions. When they got married, they moved out quickly. Not far. Just far enough. I remember standing in his empty room after he left. The bed was gone. The posters were gone. But the marks on the wall where his desk had been were still there. I touched them with my fingers. And I told myself this was normal. This was life. At first, he called. Once a week. Sometimes twice. Then once a month. Then only on holidays. I told myself he was busy. I told myself marriage changes things. I told myself not to be selfish. But silence has a sound. And it grows louder when you pretend not to hear it. There were moments that stayed with me. Little ones. Sharp ones. Once, I called him after he missed my birthday. Not to complain, just to hear his voice. He answered, but his tone was rushed. "Mom, I'll call you later," he said. Later never came. Another time, I went to their house unannounced, just to drop off food. Clara answered the door. She smiled, but it did not reach her eyes. "Oh," she said. "You should have called." I nodded. I apologized. I handed her the food. My son waved from the couch. He did not stand up. I stayed only 5 minutes. I told myself I was imagining the distance. But a mother knows when something is shifting, even when she pretends not to. I never blamed her. Not fully. It is easy to blame a daughter-in-law. People expect that story. But I knew the truth was softer and harder at the same time. My son had made choices. And I had allowed them, quietly. I did not fight for space in his life. Because I did not want to become a burden. So I stepped back. Further than I should have. I learned how to be alone without looking sad. I learned how to smile at neighbors. I learned how to answer "I'm fine" without lying completely. But at night, when the house was still, I sometimes sat by the door. Not waiting. Just remembering. I never blamed her. Not fully. It is easy to blame a daughter-in-law. People expect that story. But I knew the truth was softer and harder at the same time. My son had made choices. And I had allowed them, quietly. I did not fight for space in his life. Because I did not want to become a burden. So I stepped back. Further than I should have. I learned how to be alone without looking sad. I learned how to smile at neighbors. I learned how to answer "I'm fine" without lying completely. But at night, when the house was still, I sometimes sat by the door. Not waiting. Just remembering. Years passed like that. Not dramatic. Just slow. I grew older. My hair turned grey. My hands became rougher. I stopped expecting calls. I stopped checking my phone at night. And that is why the knock on the door felt unreal. Because when you finally let go of hope, it has a way of coming back quietly. Not to hurt you, but to ask if there is still room. That night, as my son stood in my living room, looking at the same old furniture, I knew something had ended. And something else was about to begin. But I did not know yet how much pain he was carrying. Or how much truth he had come to share. That would come later. Slowly. Like the rain outside, washing years away one drop at a time. That first night, we did not talk much. I made tea the way I always did. 2 cups. Even though for years, I had only needed one. He sat at the kitchen table, the same place he used to sit when he was young. He wrapped his hands around the cup like he was trying to warm something deeper than his fingers. The clock on the wall ticked loudly. It always had. I wondered if he noticed it now, the way I had noticed the silence all these years. "You can stay in your old room," I said gently. "It's still there." He nodded. "Thank you, Mom." That was all. That night, after he went to bed, I stood in the hallway for a long time. I listened to the house breathe again. Not louder. Just fuller. But even then, I felt it. Something heavy sat between us. Unspoken. Waiting. In the morning, I woke up early, as always. Old habits do not change easily. I cooked breakfast. Eggs. Toast. Nothing special. When he came into the kitchen, he looked surprised. Like he had forgotten what mornings here were like. "You didn't have to," he said. "I wanted to," I replied. He sat down slowly. He ate quietly. I watched him without staring. A mother never stops noticing small things. He had dark circles under his eyes. His shoulders were tight. He chewed like someone who had not slept well in a long time. "How long are you staying?" I asked softly. He paused. "I don't know," he said. "I just needed to come." I nodded. I did not ask why. Sometimes questions close doors instead of opening them. He stayed. 1 day became 2. 2 became 5. He helped around the house without being asked. He fixed a loose door handle. He cleaned the yard. But even with his presence, the space between us felt fragile. Like thin glass. At night, I heard him pacing. Sometimes he sat in his room with the light on until early morning. I wanted to knock. I wanted to ask what was wrong. But fear held me back. Fear of hearing words I was not ready for. As he moved around the house, memories returned. I remembered the last family dinner we had all together. It was years ago. Clara sat beside him, quiet. I tried to include her in the conversation. She smiled politely, but she barely ate. When I offered seconds, she said, "We're watching what we eat now." I laughed softly and said, "That's good." But something about the way she said it made me feel old. Like my ways no longer fit. After that dinner, my son called less. When I asked if I had done something wrong, he said, "No, Mom. Everything is fine." But fine can be a wall if you lean on it too long. One afternoon during his stay, Clara called. I heard his phone ring while he was in the yard. I watched him freeze before answering. His voice changed when he spoke to her. Lower. Careful. "Yes. I'm at Mom's," he said. I needed time. I could not hear her words, but I could hear the weight of them. After the call, he came inside and sat down heavily. "She's upset," he said. I nodded. I understand. But I did not. Not fully. Because no one had ever explained anything to me. That evening, while we were washing dishes together, he finally spoke. "Mom," he said, not looking at me, "did I hurt you?" The question surprised me. I dried my hand slowly. "You're my son," I said. "You can't hurt me without hurting yourself too." He swallowed. "I didn't mean to disappear," he said. "It just happened." I wanted to say so many things. About missed birthdays. About long nights. About silence. But instead, I said, "I know." Because sometimes love chooses peace over truth. But peace does not last forever. That night, I could not sleep. I lay in bed staring at the ceiling. The rain returned, soft and steady. I wondered how a mother could feel so full and so empty at the same time. Having him under my roof again felt like a gift. But gifts can carry weight. I sensed a story inside him. A heavy one. And I knew, deep down, that when it came out, nothing would stay the same. Over the next days, more signs appeared. He avoided certain phone calls. He left the room to talk quietly. Once, I heard him say, "I just need space." That word again. Space. I wondered how much space it takes to forget someone who raised you. I never said that out loud. I kept it inside, where it grew heavy but quiet. One evening, I asked if he wanted to walk with me. The sun was setting. The sky was soft orange and grey. We walked slowly down the street, past houses that had seen us grow. "You used to race your bike here," I said. He smiled faintly. "I forgot about that." That hurt more than I expected. As we walked, I almost asked him why he had stayed away so long. The words sat on my tongue. But fear won again. Instead, I said, "I'm glad you came." He stopped walking. He looked at me then. Really looked. "So am I," he said. "I just wish I hadn't waited this long." Something in his voice cracked. That night, he knocked on my bedroom door. "Mom," he said softly. "Are you awake?" "Yes," I replied. He stood there, unsure. I think I need to tell you something." My heart slowed. Not from fear. From knowing. "Whenever you're ready," I said. He nodded. But he did not speak yet. Some truths need time to breathe before they can be spoken. As I lay awake after he left, I knew the quiet days were ending. The distance between us was no longer just silence. It was becoming a story. And soon, that story would ask to be told. No matter how painful it might be. The next morning came slowly. The sun rose behind thick clouds, turning the sky a pale grey. It felt like the kind of day that does not rush anything. The kind of day that waits. I made breakfast again. This time, neither of us spoke much. My son looked tired. More tired than before. He kept glancing at me like he wanted to say something, but each time he opened his mouth, he closed it again. I let him be. Some stories cannot be pushed. They come out only when they are ready. Later that afternoon, we sat in the living room. The curtains were half open. Soft light fell on the old furniture. The house was quiet except for the ticking clock. He sat on the edge of the couch, leaning forward, his hands clasped together. I sat in my usual chair, the one by the window. "Mom," he said suddenly, "do you remember when I got married?" I nodded. "Of course." He swallowed. "That day," he said slowly, "I thought I was doing everything right. I waited. At first," he said, "I thought marriage was about starting something new. A new life. A new home." He paused. I didn't understand that starting something new doesn't mean erasing what came before. My chest tightened, but I stayed quiet. "Clara wanted things to be simple," he continued. "Quiet. She said she needed space to feel comfortable." I nodded again. I had heard that word before. "Every time you called," he said, "she would get tense. Not angry. Just uneasy." He looked at me then, his eyes full. "She never told me to cut you off. Not in those words." That mattered to me. I did not want to hate her. "But," he said, "she would say things like, 'We need time for ourselves,' or 'Your mom depends on you too much.'" I felt a small ache in my chest. "I didn't see it clearly," he said. "I thought I was choosing peace." He leaned back and stared at the ceiling. "So I started calling less," he said. "I told myself it was temporary. I thought of my phone, silent for weeks. When you visited that day," he said softly, "and Clara said you should have called first, that wasn't about the food." I remembered her face at the door. The polite smile. "She felt invaded," he said. "And I didn't defend you." Those words landed heavy. "I stood there," he continued, "watching you apologize for being my mother." His voice shook. "And I did nothing." I wanted to speak, to tell him how that day had stayed with me. But I also felt something else. Understanding. "I didn't say anything either," I said gently. "I thought staying quiet would make things easier for you." He turned to me quickly. "That's what hurts the most," he said. We both kept choosing silence. He took a deep breath. "Things got worse after that," he said. He told me about arguments I never knew happened. About Clara feeling watched. About him feeling torn. "She asked me once," he said quietly, "if it was just me and your mom, who would you choose?" The room felt colder. I laughed it off, he said. I said it wasn't a fair question. But the question stayed. "And every time I called you," he said, "I felt like I was betraying someone." His eyes filled with tears. "So I stopped calling. I told myself you were strong," he said. "That you didn't need me." I smiled sadly. "Mothers learn to look strong," I said. "It doesn't mean we stop feeling." He nodded. "I know that now," he said. "I didn't then." He leaned forward again. "The night I decided to come here," he said, "Clara and I had a fight. Not a loud one. A tired one. She said," he continued, "Your mother will always be between us." My heart sank. "And for the first time," he said, "I realized something. I waited. That I had let a wall grow," he said, "and I had helped build it. I told her I needed time," he said. "I told her I was going to see you. She cried," he added. "But she didn't stop me." He looked at his hands. "I don't know what will happen with my marriage," he said honestly. "I only know I couldn't keep living like I had no past." Stood up slowly and walked toward him. I placed my hand on his shoulder. "I never wanted to be a choice," I said. "I only wanted to be your mother." He broke then. He covered his face and cried quietly. Not like a child. Like a man who had carried something too long. I did not rush him. I stayed there. When he finally looked up, his eyes were red. "I'm sorry," he said. "For the years. For the silence." I shook my head gently. "We both survived them," I said. "That matters." That night felt different. The house was the same, but the air was lighter. We did not fix everything. We did not make promises. But something had shifted. The truth had been spoken. And once spoken, it no longer pressed so hard on the heart. After my son told me the truth, the house felt different. Not louder. Not happier right away. Just more honest. That night, we did not talk much more. Truth can make you tired. It takes strength just to sit with it. I made him a simple dinner. We ate quietly. Before going to bed, he stood in the hallway like he used to when he was young. "Good night, Mom," he said. "Good night," I replied. And for the first time in many years, I slept without the heavy feeling in my chest. The days that followed were slow and gentle. We settled into a rhythm. Not the old one. A new one. He woke up later than I did. I left breakfast ready for him. Sometimes he joined me in the morning. Sometimes he needed space. I learned not to take it personally. One afternoon, he asked if we could go through old photo albums. They were stored in a box under my bed. When I placed them on the table, he smiled. "I forgot how much you took pictures," he said. "I wanted to remember everything," I replied. As we turned the pages, time folded in on itself. There he was as a baby. As a boy with scraped knees. As a teenager pretending not to care. He stopped at one photo. "That was the day Dad taught me how to fix the fence," he said quietly. I nodded. "He was proud of you." My son swallowed hard. Later that evening, we talked again. Not about blame. Not about anger. About understanding. "I didn't know how to balance both worlds," he said. "My marriage and my family." I listened. "No one teaches you that," I said. "You learn by making mistakes." He looked at me. "Did I lose you?" he asked. The question broke something open in me. "No," I said firmly. "You were never lost to me. You were just far away." Tears filled his eyes again. A few days later, I did something I had not planned. I showed him a small stack of letters. They were tied with a ribbon. "I never sent these," I said. He looked surprised. "Why not?" "Because I didn't want to pressure you," I said. "I didn't want you to feel guilty." He untied the ribbon slowly. He did not read them out loud. He just held them. "I wish you had sent them," he said softly. I smiled. "I know that now." One evening, after dinner, he told me he needed to talk to Clara. "I can't go back to pretending," he said. "Whatever happens, I need to be honest." I nodded. "That's all anyone can ask," I said. He left the next morning. I stood at the door and watched him walk away. This time, it felt different. Not like abandonment. Like movement. The house became quiet again. But it was not the same quiet as before. It did not hurt as much. I went back to my routines. My tea. My table. My mornings. I did not count the days. I trusted that whatever was meant to return would. A week later, there was another knock on my door. This time, I was ready. When I opened it, my son stood there again. But he was not alone. Clara stood beside him. She looked nervous. Not proud. Not cold. Just human. "I hope it's okay that I came," she said softly. I stepped aside. "Come in," I said. "It's cold." We sat at the table. No one rushed to speak. Finally, Clara looked at me. "I was afraid," she said. "Afraid of losing him. Afraid of not being enough." I listened. "I didn't mean to push you away," she continued. "I just didn't know how to share." I nodded. "I understand fear," I said. "I lived with it for a long time too." She looked relieved. "I don't want him to choose," she said. "I want us to learn." That mattered. Nothing was fixed that day. There were no promises of weekly dinners. No perfect plans. Just honesty. And sometimes, honesty is enough to begin again. Months passed. My son did not move back in. And I did not expect him to. But he came by. He called. Sometimes Clara came with him. Sometimes she didn't. And that was okay. I learned something important during that time. Love does not disappear when it is quiet. It waits. Now, when I sit alone at night, I do not feel forgotten. I feel older. Wiser. Calmer. I understand that people grow in ways that sometimes pull them away before bringing them back. And I understand that silence, when chosen out of love, can still leave scars. But scars mean healing happened. If you are a parent listening to this, I want you to know something. Your love matters. Even when it is unseen. Even when it is unspoken. And if you are a child who has been distant, know this. It is never too late to knock. Some doors wait longer than others. But the right ones never truly close.